a bit. Not a lot.
Good. What's Gigi doing, Jasper?
Yeah, okay, well hang on a minute.
Having eaten far too many cookies, it's now time to head home. I think we're going to do a bit of an EV News Roundup on the way. Those cookies for me?
No, they're for Jasper and
So they are for me then.
They're really for Sue.
As it's just dried out for a little bit and I feel a bit bad because I've done no exercise for the last 3 days. Apart from the lack of a small child, we're ready to go. Yes, it'd feel very silly if I left without Jasper. And we're officially on the way. So now we can crack on with the EV news. The first item on the EV News Roundup, Tesla have won a contract for an 80 megawatt hour battery installation. It is a peak power smoothing setup which they're installing under contract with Southern California Edison, I believe. It's basically designed to fill the hole that was created when the Aliso natural gas storage plant had a catastrophic leak and therefore has been shut, and that's basically left Southern California, well, the sort of LA basin, with a bit of a power shortage problem. One of the cool things about this particular battery storage system is, firstly, it is going to be the largest at 80 megawatt hours of any lithium-ion static storage. And the second cool little fact is that the Gigafactory, because it has such an enormous production capacity, is going to be able to produce the batteries for it in 3 months. And one of the great things about batteries, apparently, for static storage, according to Tesla, is that they can be installed very quickly. You don't have to run pipelines or water cooling or any sort of major construction projects like that, which would normally take a very long time. Instead, what you do is you just plunk the batteries on the ground and hook them up to the grid. 80 megawatt hours is enough power to keep 2,500 homes going for a whole day, or to charge 1,000 Teslas. So it's a lot of juice. Jumping across the pond to the UK now, the My Electric Avenue project has been replaced, superseded, by the Electric Nation project. Basically, they're looking for 500 to 700 new EV owners, and they will get a smart charger for their house, and then the project will look at how people use the power and what the effect on the grid is, things like that. Basically, they want to make sure that when there are a larger number of EVs around, if you get a pocket of them in any one area, and they all try and charge at peak times, are they going to basically bring the grid to a grinding halt? So far, the analysis they've done indicates that it would probably take something like 40 to 70% of the vehicles on the road being electric before electric vehicles started to have a serious negative impact on power distribution in this country. Jumping back to Tesla briefly, drag times have had a go with what's probably one of the first P100D electric vehicles off the production line, and they have recorded a 0 to 60 time of 2.54 seconds and a 0 to 100 time of 6.5 seconds. It's just crazy how fast that thing is. Apparently it puts out 567 kilowatts of power on the road, which equates to about 760 horsepower. So it's a seriously powerful vehicle. Quite sure nobody needs that much power for driving down a road, but at the drag strip, when you are shaming, I can see the point. Okay, this is not good news. I have heard that the Ampera-e, also known as the European version of the Bolt, is going to be left-hand drive only, and therefore there will not be a UK version, which would have been sold under the Vauxhall brand here. So I actually think that's really bad news, and I am not particularly impressed with GM's commitment to the EV cause there, because I think the Ampera-e would be an absolutely fantastic car for the UK. It's small, it has a good range that could easily cover the whole country, especially when you mix in, you know, the ready availability of quick chargers around here. So I think it's just generally very, very disappointing. Bad GM. Mobileye, the provider of the autopilot chip, I think it is, in the Tesla Model S, is having a bit of a sort of, they've parted ways in July with Tesla, and there's quite a sort of a public spat going on at the moment. So, you know, that's been in the news recently. They've been claiming autopilot is, you know, not a driverless feature, which Tesla would agree with, but Mobileye think that Tesla is pushing it as a driverless technology as opposed to a driver assistance technology. I mean, I think a lot of these things are basically a storm in the teacup. It's very difficult to claim that Tesla's autopilot is dangerous if, statistically speaking, people are less likely to get killed. Now, if that's not the case, I haven't seen the raw statistics, but I think in this case, the answer is you need to look at the statistics to say whether it's safer or not. And this is good news. I think this is probably mainly to do with Teslas in the US, but I see no reason why it would be dramatically different in the UK. According to AutoList, the Tesla Model S is one of the best depreciating cars, or least depreciating cars, in the world, pretty much. It depreciates something like 28% over the first 50,000 miles, which is incredible. I can't imagine why anyone wouldn't want to buy a second-hand Tesla. I would. I'd buy a second-hand Tesla immediately. And congratulations, Tesla, for selling 10,000 Model X. Ooh, and if anyone is looking to pick up a Nissan Leaf in September, Nissan are offering a £500 September customer reward, I think it's called. So there you go. Great time to pick up your new Nissan Leaf. And apparently they've sold 15,000 in the UK now, which is, you know, heading in the direction of a sensible number of cars. I certainly am seeing far more of them on the road at the moment. And going back to the Bolt just briefly, the rated range on the Bolt is 238 miles, which is very good and higher than I thought it would be, to be honest. So yeah, brilliant. I mean, if you worked at it, you'd probably be able to get 280 out of that. Certainly I can with my Tesla, and that's got a very similar amount of range. Quickly wanted to add in one little bit about the battery stories in particular. I found it very interesting, the description that Tesla gave of how quickly that they thought they'd be able to get those batteries on site and working. And that's the thing about batteries, they are absolutely revolutionary. I actually think they're probably about as revolutionary as the advent of the internal combustion engine. Whilst the internal combustion engine allowed us to use power and to use machinery in ways that was totally impossible in the past, the same is actually true with batteries. They enable use cases that internal combustion engines just could never cover. The Gigafactory can pump out in 3 months enough batteries to do an 80 megawatt hour power station, effectively. Well, not power station, but a power storage system. What will it be like when there's 20 gigafactories around the planet? 100 gigafactories? It'll be possible to transform our power network surprisingly quickly, and I think this is the thing. I think the technology is going to really accelerate. So anyway, I am very excited, and I just wanted to point out my level of excitement. And I hope you're excited too, because I don't think it's going to be long. I think we're really starting to get there now. Pushed forwards primarily by electric cars, and they're pushed forwards primarily by Tesla. So thanks Elon Musk. I hope you've enjoyed today's vlog post. If you have, remember to like it, and share it and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you tomorrow for the next installment of my daily vlog. Bye. So the first item on the Tesla News or Roundup, Tesla News,